Dude,
this is for
I'm
sale.
not ready,
Alright,
dude.
That's the whole point, though.
Alright, this is fine.
Kevin, listen. This is like what you want.
Yeah, this is what I wanted.
That's what I'm saying. Listen, the fact that you came up with this like
Did it turn off?
12 hours ago,
Yeah.
and we're already chilling with this.
Exactly. It shows our
Yeah,
dedication.
you gotta have confidence.
Alright, now you're recording here.
All right, we got a collapsing. All right,
It would be
3.
better if one of you did it.
All right,
So that,
3,
You got it.
2, 1.
there you go.
Nice.
Alright, you're gonna go whenever.
All right,
Alright.
what's going on, guys? Today's the first ever podcast of the Long Island Lads. I'm one of the hosts, Adrian Sikorsky, and with me,
I'm the other host, Kevin Harris.
this is us, man.
This is us.
This is the first podcast.
out of hopefully many.
Yeah, for sure.
It's really just it's just a way to really connect with people, you know, talk
Yeah.
about stuff. Just what's on our minds.
I feel like we have a real passion for this.
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's a good take for us because I came up with the idea right before CS Comp, and
Yep.
we're doing the first episode a day later. Not even a day later.
You know what I'm saying?
So
Little origin story, I guess. Me and Kevin, we go way back. Freshman year of high school.
and we're only not even a year out of high school.
Yep. I'm in college.
I was in college.
Kevin's a fucking cook.
I'm a dropout.
He's a dropout. But guess what?
But-
I'm a fucking loser, dude. I like program and play video games, but
Yeah.
that's what I do. Hey. So that's what we got going on as like a little background.
Yeah, definitely. I'm not gonna make some BS that I dropped out of college to pursue this because I definitely didn't. I just dropped out of college because I figured I don't like college. But
That's fair. I don't know. I think for me, like, a thing with college is like it's become such a social norm nowadays where people are like, "Oh, you have to go to college now."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I feel like that's kind of bullshit.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
definitely. For me, it was more like just because I feel like it's just so chipped into Hispanic parents' mind this view of college as like
Yeah.
your only way out of success, and coming from very Hispanic parents.
Yeah.
It was like if you don't go to, it was like college. Talk about college starts in like middle school.
Mm-hmm.
And it just after senior year, it's like if you didn't go to college, they just talk so much shit about you.
Damn. Is that just for the Hispanic thing?
That's just from a Hispanic standpoint, at least in my family, and
That's
I
fair.
know for most Hispanic families that is the case
Yeah.
because most of them have had it tough, and just they always bring up the saying like, "I don't want you to end up like me,"
Right.
but it's like it doesn't mean I need to go to college.
No, that's fair.
I can figure stuff out
Yeah.
without it.
My brother, he's kind of like in the same boat where he felt like he was forced into college,
Yeah.
and now he didn't even like fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
But now that he's like his last semester, he's already feeling though like he's happy with his choice,
yeah.
which is nice for some people. You know what I mean? But then some
Mhm.
people literally spend 4 years of tuition,
Exactly.
and they don't even go anywhere with it.
Exactly.
Crazy.
It's like I just didn't feel like it was gonna do anything for
Right.
me. Also, I've never been a good student, like academic wise,
Mm-hmm.
and my grades were in college they were
Mm.
pretty bad. So I just feel like I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my money. I dropped out, came back home, and as of now, we got a podcast going.
Yeah, for sure.
It's looking good.
I don't know. For me, my biggest fear with college is that I'm gonna end up going 4 years, and then I'm gonna regret it because it's not gonna be what I want to do. You know what I mean? That's like the biggest scare for me. Is
Mhm.
like, what if I don't like what I'm doing right now?
Yeah.
Then I just wasted all that time and all that money for
Mhm.
nothing. And I guess you could always argue like, oh, you're better for it now. You have more information, but it's like
Yeah.
there's so much shit that I could have pursued within 4 years.
Exactly.
In like, I don't know. That's just how I see it.
I know there are a lot of people, especially in the culinary industry, that have done. I work at a restaurant already, and so many people have gone to culinary school already, and when they come out, they tell me they're like, "Don't do it.
Yeah, it's not worth
It's
it.
not worth it."
Mhm.
And the executive chef of the restaurant I work at, he didn't have any college experience. He just straight out of high school,
Mm.
and he told me, he was like, the best experience you're gonna get from a culinary standpoint. I'm not talking about all majors. He said from a culinary standpoint, the best training or education you can get is just working hands on.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's definitely one of those jobs where it's like the more amount of time you have like in your job already it just outweighs the knowledge. You know what I mean?
yeah, exactly.
But there's a lot of jobs like that. Like
Mhm.
being a mechanic, it's like
Yeah.
sure, like you go to college and you understand like the basis of a car and shit.
Yeah.
But the only way you really get like a grasp as to what you're doing is like you're working and you're hands on with it. You know what I mean?
You only learn so much from practice.
Exactly.
Like my first job ever was at Spelman's Marina,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know anything about it. Like I just needed a job, and I know that there's people who do go to school, I guess, for boat and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, it's basically a mechanic for boats. And there was two Hispanics that don't have like a minute of education working there,
Yeah.
but it's like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's like, you know, it's just, I feel like it depends on your work ethic, you know,
Yeah.
how much you want to learn and what you're doing as well.
For sure.
I feel like so many parents are just like, you get that degree, it means you're set. It's like,
But that's totally not the case, though.
if you're not, like, there's a guy named Gary Vee, and he even said, he's like, if you're not good at what you do, like, you know, you got to be good at it.
Yeah, for sure.
You got to work for it and stuff. So there's all that.
No, that's totally fair. You see so many people nowadays that are like,
Mhm.
college was bullshit, you know what I mean? Because they spent so much time and money, they're like, I did literally nothing with this piece of paper because
Exactly.
it's either not what I enjoyed or it's like, there's no suit for it because technology is evolving every day. It's crazy. Like, I'm a computer science major, but eventually, I'm just going to get fucking replaced by a robot or some shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's only so much you can do with knowledge, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It's up in the air for college. That's
Yeah.
for sure. It's a touchy subject.
And it's not. I'm not. It's not throwing shots at college or people that go to college.
not at all.
It's definitely a good thing for some people, for most people, really. But it's like, I feel like it's just something that's not worth stressing over.
No.
Um.
Yeah, you see so many people in high school
Mhm.
like obsessive
Yeah.
over like their grades and shit, and that's
Yeah.
great. If that's what you want to do, go for it. But you see people have no social life, do anything
Yeah.
aside from just study and just beg the teacher for fucking
Yeah.
A's. You know what I mean?
Like in regions and stuff, there were so many times I never studied a minute in my life.
Same for high school.
I never studied, and I passed the regions, and I know people who would study for hours who wouldn't study it,
Mm-hmm.
who wouldn't study at all, and I don't know. It's just sort of like I feel like it's just so like people stress about it so much,
Yeah.
and it's like I feel like it's not worth it, you know.
Mm-hmm. Definitely put a toll on you mentally for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's like grades just create these standards that you feel like you always need to meet. And
Right.
It's like, you know.
Plus, it also seems like if everyone else is like
Mhm.
putting in that fucking effort, you have to do the same. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Because if you don't, you're just like an outcast.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. I think people's like opinions are starting to change with it
Yeah,
as
definitely,
time goes. But
Definitely.
that's just how I see it.
Yeah. So, on the term about high school,
Mm-hmm.
let's talk about how we met.
All right. So Kevin, you came back from Springs, right?
Yeah.
So Kevin came from Springs. I basically was in Hampton Bays most of my life. I grew up in like OLH, which is a Catholic school. Something I can't recommend.
That's
Not
where
gonna lie.
my little brother's at right now.
Kelvin.
Unfortunately.
It wasn't fun. But anyways, I was in high school for a while, and I met Kevin in gym class. This
Yeah.
is freshman year gym class with Miss
Miss Lupa.
dude. That shit was so funny.
It was
Yeah.
it was great. She was such a strict gym teacher.
I know.
Not
She
even-
fucking hated Kevin though.
She just was always out for me.
Even like when I would like fuck
Yeah.
around and do shit, she would just like target Kevin. Because she's like, well, he's brown.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, she wasn't actually racist,
No.
but I
As
was
far as
always
we know.
targeted. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but it just always happened. Like we did a thing called, was it Project?
I think it was Project Adventure, yeah.
It was like a team bonding
It's
exercise,
so good.
and we had to get these hoops or these rings or something that you would have to like carry. We got in a circle, and we all had to carry these 2 hoops. And Adrian was standing right next to me, and she literally specifically said, "Do not throw the hoops. Don't throw the hoops." And Adrian throws his hoop into the middle. So now she turns around because she hears a hoop hit the ground. And she's like, "Who did it? Where? Like, who just threw that hoop?" And Adrian's the only one standing there with one hoop. And she just looks at me.
He goes,
Yeah, Kevin, I'll see you after class. I have both my hoops in my hand.
Oh my
And she
God.
just, I came in.
It's so fucking
She
stupid.
just, oh my goodness. She just did so much. there was 3 gym teachers, and they all had their name written on a whiteboard right before you came in.
Oh my god,
And
dude, I
then
remember this shit.
I erased the S from Mrs. and the A from Lupa. So all you read was Mr. Lup. And I remember it was like, if you touched that whiteboard...
Dude, she was so pissed.
Yeah, if you touched the whiteboard, you were like... It was like a death wish. And she goes in, she says who did that. I'm like, I'm just going to fess up. I don't really care. Like, I didn't think it was that big of a deal. She says, you have detention after school. I say, okay. I come in after school. She looks me dead in the eyes, and I kid you not, she goes, you made me a man. And I was like, I was so confused when she said that.
Dude, how do you get so upset at
Exactly.
that? How the fuck do you get detention for
I
that?
know. I was like, I fessed up because I was like, what's she going to say? Like, don't touch the whiteboard? But she just really got... She really got emotional by Mr. Lup.
There's so many teachers that were like
Ricky,
so butthurt and emotional from fucking like kids. You know what I mean?
Exactly. We were in a high school that had a very emotional people.
Yeah.
It was like literally. Alright, so I don't want to throw specific names out there, but basically you got sent to a certain teacher if you did get detention, or if like you got in trouble or whatever. And it was like the moment you step into that office, you have detention. It's like...
there's no, like, fighting.
You could not... Even if you had the most valid argument with video evidence and everything, you could not get out of that situation.
Yeah.
It was just, nope, the teacher brought you down. Sorry, you're in trouble. You got detention.
And it was hard because literally every teacher would be like, oh, you did something that I didn't like for the span of a second. Exactly. Get the fuck out. Get away from me.
It was the worst. It was so teacher-sided.
Mm-hmm.
It was, like, it was bad.
Yeah. Gym class wasn't the only class me and Kevin had freshman year together, though. Me and Kevin, we also had an English class with, what should we call a teacher?
Mrs. D.
Mrs. D. So, there was, so I knew a lot of people in high school already because, you know, I grew up and I was in the middle school and I knew everyone. Kevin was still new and, we'd always just fuck around in that class. Mm-hmm. There was a time, where my boy Jordan Haynes... He was a little ginger kid. Such a nice guy. And we were in fucking English class. And I don't know how it started. But one day, Jordan went up to go to, like, get a tissue. And I opened up a bottle of water and just poured half of it on his fucking seat. And I think the first time he actually didn't notice. Yeah. And he fucking sat down. And he always wears khakis, too. So when he stood up, dude, and it was just, like, that mustard brown, dark shit, everyone's like... Jordan, are you okay, man? And for some reason, me and Jordan, we thought it was so funny. And I would always take photos of it. And we would do it for like half of the school year. And then he'd be like, hey, Adrian, I'm going to get a tissue. You ready? So I'd be like, dude, I don't even want to do it anymore. He's like, Adrian, do it. Yeah. So I'd fucking do it. And then he'd be like, hey, Adrian, I'm going to go up to go get a tissue. This was like after he would sit in the fucking puddle of water. And I'd be like, dude, Jordan, don't. Because I didn't want to get in trouble for it. And he walked up. And the whole class is like, oh my God. Mr. Freitas. Yeah. Oh, fuck. I fucking said their name. Whatever. Dude, oh man.
He was just like, he didn't care about like getting wet. Like he used to drink his water bottles in a way where it's like, he wouldn't even, like as a joke obviously, he wouldn't even put it in his mouth. He would just go, and just let it all go down his shirt. And it was
all the time.
Great.
Yeah.
I would say English is definitely where, like, I met you in gym, but English I feel like is where we started talking.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like, you were funny as shit, and I was a new kid, so I didn't really talk to anyone. Mm-hmm. So it's like I was like, all right, this kid's funny. I'm funny. I'm gonna start connecting to him.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of how the friendship started.
Yeah, that's basically how it happened.
Yeah. Did we have anything sophomore year? I think sophomore year was like when we didn't have any classes.
I think that's when we stopped talking for a little bit.
Mm-hmm. We just had literally no classes.
Yeah, we didn't have anything.
Yeah. But then it started all up.
And then junior year, we had culinary.
So culinary in Hampton Bays High School, it was it's a 2-period thing a day. So we would basically cook for like an hour and a half every day. And we had this teacher, I'm just going to call his name because I don't fucking care. Chef Lawrence Weiss, dude. Chef was the literal pinnacle definition of a Jew, man. He was like 5'3", 280 pounds, Italian with the fucking white mustache, bald on the top. Total, like, Dude, he was just the definition of, like, a washed-up chef. And we abused that guy.
Yeah, it was bad. It definitely was pretty bad.
But it was for good reason, to be honest. Like, Chef was literally a dick to us.
Yeah, but I mean, at least for me in the culinary field, he did make me a better line cook, I guess, in a way.
That's fair.
Yeah, he did. But he was something else. He was like, he would tell us to do things and then forget he told us to do it and yell at us when we do it. It was stuff like that.
Yeah. But the thing that bugged me the most was that it's a culinary class, and I feel like if you're going to be successful in culinary, which is successful in cooking in general, you have to have a creative mind, you know what I mean?
Definitely.
You got to have a personal flair to it and shit.
Definitely.
And then he totally neglected that.
It was like, so we did it for 2 years. We went in senior year, and he brought up the idea that to me sounded amazing. We were just a group for, I think, what was it, like 4 or 5 weeks. We go up behind, we had a restaurant style kitchen away from where the students cooked, and it was like every Friday we had a meal.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
no, I love
meal.
this idea.
And the idea, his literal words, you guys are gonna cook whatever you want and make a group meal. So we're like, I'm excited because I learned a bunch of recipes from the restaurant. I was like, I'm super hyped. I'm gonna make these incredible dishes for everyone, right? Like, and I think I was the first week. Me and Giovanna.
Yeah.
So me and her go up the first week, and immediately I got all these ideas. I was like, oh, chorizo hash, this shrimp hash, stuff, recipes that I'm borrowing from the restaurant because I'm not selling it. I'm just gonna give it to the people.
Right.
And he goes, hold on, the papers are printing. So the moment he said that, I was like, all right, so let's see what he's got. He pulls out these papers. It was like, it's like some of these recipes weren't bad, but we know where we get the product from.
Yeah.
So it was like, if it was, say, something like, I don't know, something with ground beef, it's like we know the ground beef has been frozen for months.
Yeah, exactly.
So it was like,
oh my
God. He goes, we're doing these. He was like, all right, you can choose. We got the steaks, those ground beef steaks. I forget what they're called.
My.
And then he said, or do you want to do pierogies? And I was like, let's do the pierogies because it sounds interesting.
Oh my God, dude.
And he just brings the worst quality. I think he chose probably the worst fillings you could get for pierogies. He got this terrible sauerkraut.
No, that's an actual style pierogi though.
No, I know it is, but I'm just saying he probably got the worst quality, the cheapest. Because I like sauerkraut, but he probably got the worst. It's already fermented, and I feel like he's somehow found a way to ferment it even more. So we got sauerkraut, and then we did these potatoes or whatever, and he wanted to boil them, which is I'm pretty sure is normal. So to get it nice and closed. And then we went to pan sear them. And I tried to get a really nice sear on them because I knew they were so bland. I knew they were going to be so bad. But I was like, at least it could get a crunch. A nice, nice crunch, golden brown. And he comes over and it has the slightest sear. It has almost no sear. It has almost no. It was basically.
It was on the pan for 10 seconds.
And he was like, "Yep, they're good. Put them out. Get them out." And if I would get some beautiful golden brown sears, and he would be like, "You burned them." And it's like I got to a point where I was like, I don't even know how to react. And then, I'm wrong. Someone went before. I think Molly and someone else was before us. Before it was our turn to go up. So Molly got these basic ass dishes that you could probably do in 20 minutes. And Chef made us do the pierogies. Maybe 20 minutes before class ends, he says, make another 20 pierogies. So we have to go weigh everything out again, make a whole new batter, and then he's like, all right, it's time to clean up. And meanwhile, we just did all these pierogies, and we have a mess. And he was like, I want this stuff cleaned up right before class ends. I'm not writing you a late pass, this and that. And then he got mad because he's like, oh, you want to succeed in the restaurant? You got to be able to work fast and this and that. And he was like, you see, Molly got it done real quick. And I was like, Molly just seared ground beef.
You literally just gave her the easiest recipe.
It was the most basic, you can microwave this stuff. And it was he was like, I had to do this whole dough. We had to flour the whole table, which we had just cleaned already. It was actually we already cleaned. And he was like, make a whole new batch.
I want to put in a little insight because I'm Polish, so we're literally pierogies are fucking Polish, you know what I mean? And I've grown up, we have a Christmas tradition where we go in the day before Christmas Eve, because Polacks basically spend Christmas Eve as Christmas. So we always have a tradition when we go over to my grandma's house, and we make hundreds of pierogies. And they're fucking, like, you put in work for pierogies.
Yeah.
And the amount of time and effort, you gotta get, like, some good quality shit to make your pierogies taste good. Mm-hmm. And what you do, like, when you boil the pierogies, it basically, like, cooks everything already and it seals it up. So that way, you could just put it on, like, a mad hot fucking pan, get a nice sear on it so it's nice and crispy, and it's delicious. But,
yeah.
Chef, oh my god. Like, you would boil it, and you'd put it on the fucking thing, let the water drip out from, like, the boiled water, and it would just have, like, the fucking, just like a coffee color on the dough, and he'd be like, yep, good enough for me.
It was bad. And I remember he taught us how to seal them. And then you came over and you were like, what the hell is that?
That's not how you seal it.
Let me show you how to seal it. And Chef was like, that's wrong.
Yeah.
It was like,
and half of them fucking opened up.
He was like, I don't know what happened. It's like, oh, I know what happened. We listened to you.
I'm like, yeah, that's fucking wrong.
Yeah, it's like, he just said to, like, seal. He just said squeeze them.
No,
I was like, no. I was like, empanadas aren't pierogies, but not going to make empanadas. It's like, we twist this shit.
Yeah.
Close. Or if not, we grab a fork and we just seal it like that. But he
sorry for that.
He's like, no, just pinch it and that's it. It was done. Throw them in the water. And they just opened. Most of them exploded. It was terrible. And then then he brings out the kielbasa.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, maybe this will save the dish, the family style thing. And he was like, he was like, take the sauerkraut that we put in the pierogies. He was like, I want you to mix it with it. And I was like, Chef, could I told him, I was like, can we just put some on the side? Because not everyone likes sauerkraut.
Yeah. And
he was like, he would get so offended if you had any other idea. And he was like, oh, you want to teach the class this and that? And I was like, all right, screw it. We mixed it with sauerkraut. We put it out. I don't think anybody ate them.
No.
I'm pretty sure
we only ate the potato ones. We had to look for the potato ones.
Yeah, because the sauerkraut ones were terrible.
Fucking disgusting.
And he had the thing that he's like, smells like Christmas. The fucking cabbage, the roasted cabbage.
Oh my god, the purple cabbage, dude. So this cabbage, it took us like a week to make.
It cooks for a week.
And I kid you not, out of like 15 students, not one person had like a spoonful of it.
I think out of all the students from the 2 years, every student that's been in that class, we've had maybe 2 spoonfuls of that cabbage.
Yeah. Keep in mind, we're talking, this story was from the second year.
Yeah.
So the first year was kind of just like an introduction. Like, people, if they liked culinary, they would join in on it. And then the second year, for the returning people that were in the junior year, it was supposed to be only for the students going into the culinary institution. Mm-hmm. Like, people that were going to, go into, like, culinary as their job. And Kevin and Giovanna, which is
my girlfriend.
Yeah. They're, like, the only 2 people that actually, like, gave a fuck. Me, I just loved fucking around in that class. Yeah. And I loved cooking because it was fun. 2 periods off, chilling with my boys. Because I was with Kevin and Vincent, both one of my closer friends. Yeah. And we fucked around so much in that class. But he would always, like, threaten me. Because I'd be like, yeah, I'll come back next year. And we would always get into arguments. Because I would have an opinion on shit. And he wouldn't like that I actually gave a fuck about what I had to say. And he'd always, like, call me over and be like, Adrian, why are you always trying to argue with me? I'm like, because you're fucking wrong. And everyone in the class is always like, Chef, what are you talking about? It was bad. But anyways, I ended up coming in next year. And then the fucking principal pulls me over to the side. He's like, hey, Kevin. I'm like, I'm Adrian. He's like, oh, perfect. I got to talk to you anyways. So he talks to me about how Chef said that I cannot be affiliated with you because we fuck around too much. And I hate to say it, but me and Kevin were like the kings of that class.
Yeah.
Like, we literally cooked like nobody's business, and no one could touch us.
As much as we goofed around, and I feel like that's also another reason why he hated us. Mm-hmm. It was like we goofed around, but we were just so efficient.
Yeah.
But I think that's just what he hated. Because I remember he brought up one time, he was like, oh, you think you have time to goof around in the kitchen and stuff? I was like, what do you think, I'm going to military school or culinary school? Mm-hmm. Like, and it's like, I feel like, I don't know. I mean, he was a chef in like the 50s. I don't even know how old he was.
Yeah, shit's changed.
It's like, where I work, everybody just goofs around. Everyone's just like, hey, we're here to get the job done, provide good food, but no one's here like prison bitches.
Yeah.
No one's here to, like, fuck my life.
If you think about it, like, the people you work with, you gotta have a good time with them, you know what I mean? You gotta get along with people. You gotta, like, at least have some form of personality. Otherwise, your life's gonna be miserable.
And, like, I also learned how to work efficiently being there, because it's a very busy place in the summer. And I would bring up ideas, because I brought that into the culinary class, because I was like, I want to work efficiently. And if I would bring up any idea, I remember when he yelled at me, and he was like, oh, you think if you said that to an executive chef, he would be okay with that? I'd be like, if an executive chef, if I found a way to get the job done quicker and more efficiently,
yeah, of course,
an executive chef would be like, oh yeah, this is fine. But he just refused to have any change. It's like, it's his way. If not, he threatens he'd like to kick you out of the class.
Yeah,
and
it was bad.
It.
We would get into heated arguments.
Yeah,
crazy.
And it was I don't remember. I think that was I was like, that's when he pissed me off, because he was like, oh, you work at a restaurant, you think you know everything. I was like, it's not that I know everything, it's that I learned a lot more being there than I did here. So it's like...
Oh, yeah, he called you out on that.
Yeah, I was like...
He's like, yeah, you think you know everything because you worked the summer?
Yeah, I was like, it's not that I know everything, it's I learned more. Like, it just really showed that you didn't really teach me anything, you know?
So he definitely taught us, like, the basics of cooking. Like, before cooking, like, that class, it's like, you know, I had very minimal knowledge. And I actually do. Like, I know how to, like, cook shit now that's, like, good. But there's only a certain point, like, 3 months into that class, where it's like, all right, you kind of learned everything you're going to learn from that class. Now you're just going to repeat the shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it would always be the same recipes over and over.
It was like, I don't know why I didn't realize that coming back for senior year. I was like, this class isn't going to change.
No.
It's going to be the same class.
No, if anything, it was worse.
Yeah, it was worse. He was like, oh, I brought some new recipes, but it was like 2. I think we did have like a, it was a sweet potato Alfredo with sweet potato spaghetti. Like, that was the fettuccine.
Yeah, that was delicious.
That was good.
Yeah.
But I was like, that was like the peak of this.
Yeah.
And then it just went.
That's definitely like one of the cooler things.
Yeah, it was
like,
sick.
For culinary, we had like kind of like groupings of like how we would learn to cook stuff. Some it would be baking. Oh my god, I forgot about the fucking Kaiser rolls, dude. So junior year, first year of culinary. We decided, or we didn't decide anything. Chef made us like bake these rolls and shit, and they're like Kaiser rolls. You know, you expect to me like fucking like bagel rolls or some shit. You know what I mean? Nice little like thing. So they ended up being like biscuit sized, and it was fine with that. And we would sweat them for like 2 days. So they were supposed to like build up in size. They never built up at all.
Yeah.
And what Chef decided to do was to freeze them. And he fucking froze them for over a year.
Yeah.
We've made them junior year, then senior year. Me and Kevin, we went and we did the chowder contest over at what's that place called? Bordy Barn. And we used the same rolls we made. And Chef wondered why we lost. We used year-old rolls, and he wondered why we lost.
Like, don't get me wrong, I didn't expect... It's annual chili contest. And, like, I wasn't expecting to win.
No.
But I was expecting maybe a close third, maybe even second with all this bread presentation we got going on. But it's like...
He wouldn't listen to anything me and Kevin had to say. Like, the soup that we made a corn crab... what the fuck is it called?
Corn crab chowder.
Corn crab chowder. And we put it in like these bread bowls. And that was a good idea because like the bread was salty, but the soup itself had literally no salt.
Yeah.
And before we left the culinary room to go and like pack everything, we're like, Chef, this has no salt. And he's like, oh, it's too salty already.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everyone who comes up, it's like, needs salt.
And we represented our culinary class. And I know I brought it up already, but the restaurant that I worked at was also competing because it's a whole company. And I remember the executive chef at the time, he comes over and he tries it, and he gave me the like, and then he threw it out. And then I went into work the next day because it was on a weekend. I work on Sundays, and it was like, your chowder was terrible.
No.
I was like, I tried to tell the man, and
so bad.
That was it. I remember, and then so that we also had a lot of the chowder left over for a while, and I remember we. We heated it up the next day.
Put
and
salt.
I put salt. I put some sriracha
It
in
was
mine.
delicious.
It was so good. It was so good
Yeah.
with like just extras, like just salt.
Yeah.
Just with salt in it. It was great.
The basis of the soup was
Yeah.
fantastic. It just needed
exactly.
salt.
And
Fucking
he just
neglected it.
refused. He just refused. And it's like it's frustrating because he would bring up stuff like, oh, you have to realize you're not cooking for yourself, you're cooking for other people.
Yeah, other
And then
people
it's like-
like
it's
to
like-
taste food too.
Yeah, it's like, and I mean, it's like, all right, you say that, but it's so hypocritical because you have 2 kids right now. 2 out of the 3 people right now are saying it needs more salt, and you're
Yeah.
like, no, it's too salty. It's like that just doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
You know, you can't.
Crazy.
Yeah, you can't just teach that stuff and then not do it.
Mm-hmm. We're not here to do this.
Yeah, you're not. He said you're not here to do this to not do this, and he was never there to do it to not do it.
That was just culinary for us, though.
Yeah, that was
It
was
was-
like the only class we had together. Senior
Yeah.
and junior year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but that class was like 2
Yeah,
periods a day.
2
You know what I mean? It was
periods.
a lot.
So at times it felt like forever.
Yeah, facts. Oh wait, no. Senior year we had Miss Macaulay for economics. That's where the Long Island
Yeah,
lads started to
that's
begin
where
with.
we got our name.
Yeah. So we had an economy class that was me, Matt, Kevin, and Cameron,
Yeah.
and we were like the boys. So like we would always just like stick together, and we made there was a project where we had to make like some political party shit,
Yeah.
and we called ourselves the Long Island Lads, which is kind of like what we started with this.
Mhm.
And I don't know, I thought it was pretty funny, but
It was
that's
good. It
that's
was
kind of
fun.
like how like it strengthened our like friendship and
Mhm.
shit, because we
We
would
actually
always
had to
just
work
like
on it.
yeah, we would always like hang out after school and shit and go to Cameron's house,
Mhm.
and we would always just like just chill and vibe.
We were like, yeah, we were like projects. Really, is what made us hang out a lot.
Yeah,
Like, I think we did have a class together sophomore year. Oh wait, no, sophomore year is what, Mr. K.
Cops.
So, yeah, so
Were you in there?
yeah, I don't know if I was with you.
No, I don't think so.
I remember our
No, I
first
had all the
project together was
Mexicans
the Macbeth project.
Oh yeah, that shit
So
was.
I guess I was junior
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
That was the first time I hung out with like all of
Mhm.
them, and it was the funniest
Yeah,
thing ever.
dude, that was so. I remember
know.
that shit. Patrick Kelly edited the video.
Exactly.
Yeah,
It was
hell yeah.
great.
That shit was so fun. But that's kind of like how we just like started hanging out.
Yeah, and then senior year, it was also some projects, and it was you and Cameron. You guys were hanging out regularly
Mhm.
already, and I just remember you guys were like, "Oh, let's do something tonight." And I was like, "Yeah, I'll screw it. I'll ask to come."
Mhm.
And then I started coming, and then it just kind of became a regular thing. that we'd
Yeah.
hang out, and I think that's how it was really when. So I'd say senior year is where we became like really good friends.
Yeah, for sure.
Like freshman year we were friends, but it's like we wouldn't hang out or anything. Like we wouldn't
I
even.
think junior year we were good friends too, though.
No, we were.
So we would ride the bus and shit.
The bus.
Yeah,
the
the bus was a big
bus.
thing. So we also had another friend, Davis. He's Mexican, and so we would always just because me and Davis we basically lived like a block away. But Kevin he would live near us, so he would take the same bus as us. We'd have so many fun fucking
Yeah.
times on that bus, dude.
I remember I played 3 sports. So I played in high
Oh,
school.
yeah.
I played sports pretty much every season. And I just remember Adrian would always ask me if I'm going on the bus today. And I would have to
It always break
his
my heart, dude. He'd
Tell
always
him
go,
not.
nope, because he would always fucking be
Yeah,
playing
I'd always
sports
have
and shit.
practice.
Yeah. For me, I only played one sport. It was fucking track in senior year, and I scored 1 point though for the team.
It was great.
I'll take. I threw because I'm too fat to run.
If
But
it wasn't for whatever what was he, all state, all county, he's a stud.
oh my god,
He's a stud. If it wasn't for
that
the
guy was
stud,
a unit.
if it wasn't for the stud,
We would have
So-
lost like everything.
Sikorsky would have been in state.
You got jokes, dude. That guy was a fucking beast. But
He was good, a football player and everything.
the beginning of senior year, it's kind of like how I was affiliated with like Cameron and Matt and shit was because one of our friends, Davis, who used to ride the bus with us, he got his car, and he was one of like the first people to get his car, and he got this 2005 black Mustang. And one of the first times we ever hung out was when he realized his hood was like discolored and shit. So we went to like Ace Hardware. It was me, Davis, Matt, and Cameron. and we got some fucking black spray paint, and he spray painted his hood, like just the one portion, and it was so discolorated and shit. But then ever since after that, we would hang out for like days on days after school every day. We would always like go over to Cameron's house and do shit. But I had like a feeling. There was this one time because they wanted to go to this concert called Greta Van Fleet. Those were the guys playing. They kind of sound like Led Zeppelin, but they had like their own sound. But they were up and coming, and they were really good. We would always listen to them in the car and shit. And I don't know. They bought tickets and shit, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. And I was looking for money at the time, but when I just slowly realized, like, I feel like something's gonna happen to the friend group, and it did. So people started saying shit, whatever. I kind of just like slowly distanced myself away, but I was still good friends with most of the group. That's kind of like what transitioned like the friendship into like Kevin being added to it, and then that like swung it in. But yeah, that's just how I see it.
I feel like that's when you and me started talking more.
That's what I'm saying.
Distancing yourself from them. I was never really that close to them to where I needed to distance myself. So like, I was in a good spot.
Yeah.
Because when I heard all the shit was going down, I was like, all right.
Yeah, I was like, dude, I don't fucking need the drama.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it was like it was such petty stuff.
That's what I'm saying.
But I mean, they're fine now. I feel like it's still a little awkward sometimes between them. But
nah, but you know they got back like together basically.
Yeah, it was truly a relationship we fixed.
Yeah, it was mainly like between just two people, but it's over now, and they seem pretty good for the most part.
Chilling.
Yeah, that's kind of how it is right now.
Yeah,
you know, college is different. Everyone's like moving around, so it sucks sometimes. Like when your boys are just out and about. You can't hang out all the time, but
exactly.
It's kind of nice when everyone comes back, though. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
It's like Cameron's back, party at his house.
Cameron will definitely be on an episode.
For sure.
Back.
You guys are going to see Mr. Diabetes himself.
Yeah,
I feel like Cameron's diabetes actually, like, added to the friendship, too.
Definitely, yeah. That, too. So now that actually reminds me, because sophomore year we didn't have classes, but I had a bunch of classes with Cameron. Like, Cameron was probably the only guy I spoke to sophomore year. And it all basically came together because he has to carry these bars with sugar in them when his blood sugar gets low. Yeah. And I would always sit in the back because science is my worst subject. And I would sit in the back because I didn't really like care for my grade. And so did he, because there was a kid that, he wasn't special needs, but he was in a wheelchair. And he didn't, I guess Cameron was his real friend. So Cameron would sit in the back as well. And he was just always so outgoing. And he would just stand up with his kind bars, is what they were called. And he would be like, who wants a kind bar? And since I was always next to him, I was always like, hey, can I get one? And he was like, yeah, sure. And after a while, it just became a thing where I'd just be like, yeah, can I get a kind bar? And he'd be like, oh, yeah. And then he started drinking apple juice.
Yeah,
and I would ask for the apple juices. And I'd always be like, could I get a juice? And he'd be like, no.
I need these, sugar. Yeah.
And it basically me feeding off of his snacks that really saved them is what got me and him close.
My beginning of my friendship with Cameron started in 5th grade. This was like when I was a stud at mathematics, because, you know, it's fucking some easy shit. And then I also sucked at, like, American history. And Cameron, who's a fucking just stud at that, he knew everything already about, like, global shit. And it kind of shows today. Yeah. He still knows, like, a lot of shit politically and all that stuff. But anyways, he would always be like, Adrian, I need help. So I'd always be like, yeah, I got you. And he'd be like, Adrian, I'm feeding off of your knowledge right now. And I always thought it was so funny, because he'd always wear, like, a big leather jacket that was too big for him. And always just walk around with his, like, gapped tooth. And I'm like, this guy's alright.
You talking about Cameron?
Mm-hmm. You don't remember the photo in his house? It's of him going...
Yeah. And his baseball card is the same thing. Baseball picture.
Fucking Cameron, dude. Classic.
Yeah, he's up in
New Albany.
Yep. Studying away.
Studying business. To take over his dad's.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Yeah, so that's it about Cameron. All right, so we spoke about us. You got to know us a little bit. Let's just talk about what's going on.
All right. The coronavirus.
Yeah, the coronavirus.
Yeah.
That's something else.
That shit's
The
crazy.
thing going around in China.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I saw a picture that said, like, I forget when it started. It was like 10/20, 11/20, 12/20, 13/20. It's like there was always like this massive plague.
Yeah, in 2020
And
now.
it's 2020. I was like, dude, no one pieced this together.
Mm-hmm. That
Yeah,
shit's crazy.
And I think I saw a thing that said like, I think it was like a little over 40 people already died
It's kind
of
of
this virus.
That's kind of insane though.
That's scary to
Yeah.
think about. And it's like, look, I don't know if any. I don't know if any's over here yet. But it's like, if it
Yeah,
gets to
no, it's over in
is,
the U.S. Yeah, it's like 17 people have been diagnosed.
That's crazy.
So what does it actually do? Do you know,
No.
Tommy? Pull that up.
Yeah, I was just about to.
Excellent. We got a man on the subject, but it's just I don't know. For me, like the way I found out about it was like through Instagram, and you always see like shit on Instagram now, and it's just like, dude. It's fucking
Yeah.
serious, and people just make jokes about it. Like
Yeah.
World War III, the start of that
Yeah.
shit was fucking like, dude. I was scared.
It was funny at first.
Yeah.
And then when I mean, okay, so I woke up and saw him. I didn't know anything about the bombing yet. I didn't
Yeah.
know we killed the general yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, oh, this is funny, you know. And then it's on the news.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, this is a serious thing.
Yeah.
And it was like everyone's still making the jokes about it. I was like, you know, like, don't get me wrong, the memes were hilarious.
I
They were
know,
the
but
best.
fucking
But
scary.
I was like, dude, I don't want this to happen.
yeah, I'm 18, dude.
Yeah.
I don't want to die.
Exactly.
But,
That was a scary thought.
all right, back into the
63 cases in the U.S., and it seems to be like a respiratory virus.
respiratory virus.
Yeah.
What is it like? Shut down their lungs or some shit? Or it's like
something like
ammonia?
Has it killed anyone yet?
Yeah, hell yeah.
No, in the U.S.
Oh,
that. I'm not sure in the U.S., but definitely in China.
I know the one in China.
what's the deaths in China so far?
I think I saw 41 last seen.
I think that was like 2 days ago. Though.
I don't know. I saw it this morning.
26.
26. That's it.
Is that in
Uh,
the U.S. or China?
And then it jumped by more than 200.
Oh.
So, a lot more than 26.
Bruh.
Picking up their game.
Shit's bad, man.
All right. So I created a YouTube channel this morning, and that's how I found out because it was on the news about the breakdown in China, and I was like, okay. I went to YouTube.
Yeah.
That was about it. I didn't really look too much into it. But
Mm-hmm. It's still insane, dude.
yeah.
Was it's airborne though, right? It's like,
Yeah. I guess so.
damn, dude. It's insane. How do you think shit like that gets created?
The rats, fleas on rats.
You think? You think it's just like
Probably.
a bunch of just like flea fucking to where
pollution,
like it
maybe?
just turns into shit?
Most of the viruses like this originate in animals, and then there's a mutation that makes it so that it can be infected in humans.
It's definitely government created, is right. That's what
100%.
I'm thinking. It's
They're
like
like-
AIDS, you know?
It's like they need a quick buck, dude.
Yeah.
And they're like, let's just murk these people
Mhm.
and sell a product to save them.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely just the government, though, for
plan.
sure.
Government
Like, you might not even be real. You might
Yeah.
just be a fucking robot for all I know.
Exactly.
I might be a robot. But, I don't know. It's like AIDS, dude. There's no way. The government's like, oh yeah, monkeys just fucked. It's like, no.
Yeah.
Who the fuck knows that? No.
Yeah,
They
nobody
definitely
knows
just
that.
created it, put it into a guy, and they're like, alright, go to prison and fuck some guys in the ass. You know what I mean? I think that was honestly like an idea to get rid of like the gay community.
Probably.
Maybe, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
But what if the gay disease is government created as well? No, I'm just
It's
kidding,
just
by
a
the way.
big loop.
Being gay
Yeah.
isn't a disease.
I have a really good friend that's a man now.
Transition?
Transition.
Okay. Yeah.
Transition.
One of my boys' best friend is a trans also. I don't really affiliate with.
Yeah.
It's not like I don't not affiliate with people,
Mhm.
but it's just like I don't know. It's not my jive because I
Yeah.
have like a really fucked up sense of humor, and I'm always like making fun of shit. Some people don't like that, but
Yeah.
some
But-
people are just like, hey, you know what?
Don't take it to heart.
He speaks his mind.
Exactly.
The dog is going in right now.
Yeah. He was in our culinary class too. He doesn't really have any stories in it,
Oh, yeah.
but he was there. I just remember when he slammed his head on the table.
Yeah.
Because I forgot what we were doing. I think it was just like with like my phone or maybe the bottle you're trying. Oh, you used to
yeah.
go like this on the water bottles and like catch them like that. And I was like Griffin, and he just goes. right on the thing.
You're gonna have to excuse this.
The cavalry has arrived. It's the dog.
Yeah, that's Tommy's dog, Raven.
It's Tom. That's Tommy the Gun's dog. Okay.
Alright.
Hello.
What's up? Interesting. Not bad.
This has to stay in.
You think?
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, fuck it.
I'm not ashamed about showing our beginnings.
No, hell no.
You can cut that out.
No,
No,
I'm
Thomas,
keeping
it's
that.
gotta stay in. Yeah, can you make sure the camera's still recording? Because I wanted to say something like 30 minutes ago, but there was like a bleep sound.
It's off. Yeah, it's still recording. Oh, we have audio.
That's true.
Just making an audio podcast for the first
man.
one.
Damn. So what? It says, did anything record?
It recorded probably a bunch of the first part, and then it just turned off.
Dude, I knew it, man. I heard the sound. I should have said some shit. Fuck. I mean, we still have the audio.
Yeah, the
though.
audio. The audio's fine.
Audio's the big part.
All right. So the video version next episode we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But for
You're gonna
now,
have to excuse
yeah.
this. This is still our first podcast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're fucking new to this shit.
Again, we made this not even 12 hours ago.
Yeah.
The idea.
Kevin
of
literally
a
came up with the
podcast.
idea while we were playing fucking video
Yeah.
games. You know what I mean?
We had just finished a comp. I went to the bathroom, came back, and I was like, "Let's do a podcast."
I was like, fuck it, dude.
Yeah, it's like
But to be fair, like, within the span of how much time we had,
Yeah.
we put a lot together. You know
I just
what I mean?
figured because I figured even though we're not set up to have like such a sick podcast, I was like, let's just get content out. Let's
Yeah.
get something out.
Mhm.
You know, it's not the best, but
Yeah.
I was like, I just want to.
It's still
put
even,
something.
like, if it doesn't even go anywhere, it's still something to, like, reflect back on,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? Because I feel like we have, like, so much shit
Yeah.
that, like, we went through, like, through high school, and I feel like if we just, like, recorded that, spread it out to people, I feel like people can relate to that.
Definitely.
Even if they can't, it's like, hey, you know what, we tried.
Yeah,
Fuck it. That's what it was.
yeah. We're still. We'll decide on the schedule. Maybe if we have time, another episode tomorrow.
Maybe.
We'll have the camera working that time. You guys can see our
For sure.
beautiful
The luscious
features.
face. I mean, we could always just add, like, the beginning of it, you know what I mean?
Mhm. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I don't know.
and just change it to like the logo.
Exactly, I was just thinking that. Where we just, like, fade it in.
Yeah.
Hopefully the viewers will understand.
Yeah, you guys understand. Like, we're in a friend's basement right now.
But
so
Tommy's the man.
yeah, Tommy's the man. Tommy,
Yes, sir.
Tommy's the audio guy.
Tommy's the guy where you go, hey, Thomas, we're taking over your basement. And he
Yeah.
goes, fuck, alright.
Yeah, he even helps us.
Yeah, and Tommy's like, yeah, I'll put in the work. He's the man.
It's great.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
great.
It's fun.
There you go.
Yeah.
So Tommy enjoys it. When did we start, do you know?
So what?
The time.
We're at 47:54.
47:54. Not
Word.
bad.
You think we should make the first one like an hour long?
Yeah, I'd say.
Alright, I mean,
Just-
we got 13 minutes to think.
yeah. I mean, most of this has been rogue, just straight out of my
Yeah.
head.
Keep in mind, like, we're just trying to go off the top of our head
Yeah.
and be, like, genuine, you know what I mean?
Like, I've done no research about any topic.
Yeah. We literally just fucking asked Tommy
Yeah.
to look up the coronavirus.
Yeah, I
for
know
us.
nothing about
Yeah.
it. It was literally just we got a mic, we got a camera and lighting.
Yep.
The lighting
Two
doesn't matter
friends with
anymore.
some camera. And
Exactly.
Tommy, the other friend,
Tommy
but
the
he's on the
gun, dude.
couch.
So, we just came out here.
Yeah, fuck it.
It was. I feel like it's going good. It's
Yeah.
good
No, I feel like
for the first
what
time.
we did for the first
Yeah.
time, I'm impressed.
Yeah, and it's not like I don't want to get any like, this isn't just gonna be us talking about it. I mean, there's definitely gonna be stories and stuff because
Yeah.
like my life's a movie.
Yeah.
dude.
No, we're just reflecting back on like what we just
We're
did.
just like teach you guys who we are. Like
Yeah.
there's definitely gonna be some sort of structure going
Right.
forward where it's like we're not just gonna be like, you know what? Maybe shitting on Chef is gonna be a pretty constant theme,
But
but
you gotta understand
Yeah.
how impactful that
Yeah.
shit is.
it's like, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah. Even if you can't relate to us,
Yeah.
the least you could do is like get a kick out of like what the fuck we've done.
Exactly. You've definitely had someone in your life like Chef though.
Yeah.
It's just some crabby person.
Yeah. Some fucking crackhead of a person. But another thing with us though is that we got plenty of stories that unfortunately at the moment we probably shouldn't tell.
Yeah, for our own for safety reasons.
Yeah, safety purposes. That's why we're gonna go into that.
Well, going forward, hopefully,
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna be something that
Based on if shit changes,
about.
exactly. It'll be opened up to more options such as that.
Tommy the gun just went upstairs.
Yep. Tommy's picking up some. I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know, but his mom brought him an Amazon packet.
Excellent. Oh yeah.
A new mic, perhaps.
Tommy, what you got in that Amazon
What's
packet?
in the Amazon box?
What's in that Amazon box?
The missing part for my plane.
Oh shit!
For your plane?
Yeah. So
Also
Tommy,
a board game.
bro,
Board game.
Tommy made a. Tommy has an RC plane that he made.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's the final piece to make it go.
Where is it?
It's
There's
in
no,
that
we don't
it's in his garage.
Damn, we don't have the camera to show the
Yeah.
people.
Tommy, I gotta be with you when you fly that shit out. What is that?
It's the board game.
What's it called?
Am I dragging in?
Bro, what the fuck is that?
Not bad.
Damn,
It's like
Thomas.
a drinking board game.
She's got
A
some
drinking
Oh,
board game?
Thomas, careful.
Thomas.
You're on audio.
Thomas, you're gonna get us demonetized.
You don't have to drink to play the game.
Well,
But then what's the point of a
Yeah.
drinking game?
the whole point of a drinking game is the game is not fun at all
No,
until you
it's
start
a game
drinking.
where
Bro, what
your
the
fictional character drinks, and if you choose to, you can drink as well.
But what's the point of my fictional character getting drunk? What does that
Because
do
you
for
want
me?
everyone else to get drunk and pass out, so you win the game.
Oh, so
it's realistic.
yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
Last man standing type stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Free for all,
We gotta play this, Thomas.
for sure.
No
You
alcohol
want to do
though.
it on the podcast?
Definitely.
Yeah, for sure.
If we get the camera working.
Yeah, I mean, you just start another recording.
Bro.
No, not right now.
No, that's fine. We're wrapping up the
Alright.
podcast.
Yeah, I think we're coming to an end.
It's getting there.
Yeah. It'll be. I'll definitely. Well, I think we'll be more prepared for tomorrow.
Facts. Do you think we should like throw this out? You know what I mean?
What
Like
do
to
you mean?
people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like post it like Kevin and Agent's podcast out on YouTube.
Definitely.
The highlights or
I
some
mean,
shit.
yeah, probably. I mean,
Yeah.
I still want to put this on Instagram and Twitter as if like we have a following, even though we
Yeah,
have zero
yeah.
followers.
No, for
I
sure.
still want to act like, oh, we still have people like
Yeah.
looking forward to this kind of stuff.
No, might as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
It's good stuff.
Yeah. Thomas, you got anything else to add on?
Not really. You're at 52 minutes.
Damn, dude. I gotta take a piss. That's on jaw.
Let's go. Let's see if we can go 8 minutes more. I want to try to hit an hour.
Yeah, for sure. Might as well.
Bring something up, Tommy. Bring up
Yeah,
something.
give us a
something in
topic.
the news.
I don't fucking know.
That's why I said look it up.
Look it up. It's probably all gonna be Trump impeachment stuff.
Yeah, you want to talk about politics, I guess?
I can't. I
That's
can't talk
a
about
slippery
politics.
slope.
It's
I
not
wouldn't do
that.
that for like a first.
Well, that's
podcast.
fair.
It's not that I would care about my people's opinion on my views. It's that I don't have a political
No, that's
view.
fair.
I just feel like it's wrong for me to bash on anything or talk about anything that I don't know about.
That's totally fair.
That's why, like, since sophomore year when Trump got elected, I've never spoken about it. Because it's like, why am I going to just crap on the president because everyone else is doing it?
Mhm.
Like, I don't know anything. I don't know what the hell's even going on. I don't follow politics at all.
See, that's great because some people are actually just
Yeah.
like, oh, my
Mhm.
family believes that he's doing this and that wrong.
Yeah.
So I got to believe that shit too.
It's like, I feel like if I'm just uneducated on the topic, it's like...
Why would you even argue it?
I don't understand, like, why I would even, like,
For sure.
start telling people stuff.
I don't know. For me, politics, like I've said this to you way before, like I just think it's crazy how people who do have a following and then they like post their political response,
Mhm.
how people just like look up to them and they're like,
Yeah.
oh my god, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like with Eminem, he's like said some shit like, if you stand with Trump, I don't
Yeah.
even want you to be a fan of mine. And then he made a song about how he's like some fucking corrupt piece of shit.
Mhm.
Whatever. I love Eminem and I loved his old shit.
Yep.
But that it's just like You could say that, sure. I didn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? It's like, you know what? You made your music, but people are actually just like, oh yeah, you know, he's got a point. He's right. You know what I mean? And it's like,
definitely,
bruh.
No, I know what you mean. It's just, I don't know. Like, I see, you know, M's always been known to speak his mind, but it's like, I think just the thing that was fucked up was him straight up saying, like, if you support Trump, you're not a fan. It's like, right,
oh
dude,
my god.
You know, like, I still love Eminem, but.
Facts. But it's just another thing, like, he's just another person.
Yeah.
He has no, like, prior political fucking, like, history with anything.
Yeah.
So why would you give a shit
Exactly.
that just because he's Eminem, that he has the right and all right political opinion? Yeah. It's like, bruh. But that's just how I see it.
It's a opinion. It's
Mm-hmm.
an opinion.
Exactly. It's just another person.
Mm-hmm. He
just killed.
300-foot pizza that raises funds for firefighters.
Damn, that's what's up.
I like that. Where is that?
Oh, let me click on the thing.
What is it funding? Is it like just a? Is it for volunteer firefighters? Is it for like equipment? Is it for like the firefighters themselves?
To help battle bushfires in Australia.
Oh,
I like
that's
that.
great. Yeah, that's another thing, dude.
I like
Australia's up in flames, dude.
Yeah.
I heard some fucking thing where they were saying over 800 million animals died.
That's ridiculous.
That's insane, dude. And supposedly there's been some, like, theories saying that it was started by people.
I could see
And
it.
how they arrested some people already.
I could see it.
Like, that's fucking insane. Imagine that. Lighting a whole, like,
Yeah.
continent on fire. Being like, fuck
What's
this
even
shit.
the charge for that?
Arson.
It's gotta be more than just arson, though.
Arson's pretty bad.
Is it?
What's
Yeah.
the max
Is it
sentence?
better than... I mean, you know what I mean? Like, in comparison to burning, say, a house down versus burning a continent.
What is arson?
You might get multiple counts of arson.
Okay, fair enough.
Depending on how much property.
Mm-hmm.
It's a lot of property.
Yeah.
It's like half a country, half a continent.
Mm-hmm. Shit's insane. Seeing all those fucking koalas in the fire. And how they're just dropping, like, carrots and shit.
Yeah. No. Alright, look. I'm going forward, like, I'm wanting to speak my mind. I fucking hate koalas.
Koalas are literally, like, the most useless animal, by
they're like,
the way.
I know we just said, like, all the animals, but it's like koalas? Fuck koalas. I think they're so useless. They do nothing.
Okay.
Their brain, like, search up a picture of a koala brain. It's a chicken breast. It has no wrinkles in it.
It's literally
so
smooth.
dumb.
It's a smooth brain.
Yeah, it's so dumb. They basically all die of chlamydia. They're all so unhealthy because their only source of nutrients
is the eucalyptus leaf.
It's
And
a poisonous plant.
the eucalyptus leaf, it literally has like no nutritious value and it's poisonous. But you know they've developed that like body that lets them eat it. But since it's so like it has so little nutrients, they have to eat it constantly, and it's so bad for their teeth that it makes their teeth fall out, and they can't grow any more teeth. So eventually, the fucking animal that needs to chew the eucalyptus leaf to digest it can't even digest it, and it'll just die.
Exactly, and it's like it's not like they're the only animal, because many animals did eat off of that, but they all evolved and learned to eat things that were more nutritious for them. And the koala's still doing it. I bet you there's a koala right now looking for some in the fire.
Sure. For sure.
It's like, and I feel like most of them, like, I'm not saying that any of them probably could have escaped, and it's like,
no,
but it's like, I bet you most koalas are just like, what's happening?
Yeah.
I'm just dying.
Yeah.
And
where's my eucalyptus?
Yeah, where's my poisonous plant?
Yeah, no, but you're right though, because like the smooth brain, they have like literal zero intelligence.
They have no intelligence.
Nah,
I'm sure all they feel is like, all right, I'm dying.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I don't feel pain or anything.
I mean, I don't think that's how that works.
You know, but you know what I mean. Like they're just like, I'm dying. Like
They're
it's
just
not
like,
like, oh man, I'm dying.
Yeah, it's like, oh fuck, fire. They're like,
here it is. It's like, I'm sure they were like kangaroos and shit. Like I'm sure they some of them ran away.
Yeah,
have the brain. Most animals know like.
Most animals are fucking intelligent.
Yeah, they feel danger and they're like, all right, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
The koalas are probably just like my tree.
They're like, where's my eucalyptus? No, it's actually crazy though. How
Yeah.
they're literally the most useless animals.
They're so useless.
Fucking insane.
I mean, I still feel bad for them.
No,
They're
absolutely.
so useless.
It's like,
Like I feel like not that I'm like rooting on the fire, but it's like had the fire not happened, koalas are already going extinct, and they're just doing it to themselves. I'm pretty sure they would have gone extinct regardless of the fire.
maybe this will finally be the turning
Yeah.
stone. You know what I mean?
Maybe
Some
just
animals are like,
Yeah.
the carrots from the plains. Those are pretty good, actually.
Maybe
And they
this-
don't lose their fucking teeth.
maybe this is good for the koala. Maybe one koala actually was like, let me do something.
Yeah, like I don't want to die.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I'm not trying to die here.
Yeah, and they just like have wrinkled
Yeah,
brains.
maybe this
now.
is good for them. Shit, maybe that's like this was like
what they
they
needed.
learn how to survive fire because they're just so stupid that they
Yeah.
just learn how to live in it.
And this is like the continent where like they reside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's up in flames. So it's like you're gonna learn or you're
Yeah.
gonna die. They have to. They need to.
Have they made any progress with the fire? Like what's going on with it? Is it still just up in flames?
I've heard that they've been like putting it out to where it's like in a controlled state, I believe.
In a controlled state?
Yeah, like where it's controllable. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Yeah.
Talk to us, Tommy.
I'm looking.
What's that big brain of yours got?
Fires are still going
Bruh.
in South Australia,
South Australia?
in parts of South Australia.
There's gonna be nothing left.
Bad.
Fucking Mr. Beast just planted
Mhm.
20 million trees.
Yeah.
And fucking, they just burned like 100 million. Shit. It's insane though if you think about it. Like, because trees take so long to fucking grow.
Yeah.
And that literally has to impact like the oxygen reproduction. You know what I mean?
Definitely. The reproduction?
You know what I mean? Just
The
the
oxygen.
actual
The
production.
oxygen intercourse.
The oxygen cells are just getting it. You think this planet's like eventually just gonna burn out, like of resources, or do you think eventually there's gonna be like a breakthrough where it's like we are able to mass produce what we need to live?
Eventually, yeah, I feel like going into the future, we are eventually just going to reach a time where it's like, alright, we know how to create oxygen now. Stuff like that.
I don't know, dude. I think it would be so insane if we were alive by the time, like, not global, but like, you were able to travel through space onto another planet. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, we build some sort of intergalactic
Exactly.
train station.
Yeah,
where
just
it's
like
gonna
taking a
be
train, like a
yeah.
plane to Florida, taking a
Yeah.
plane to Jupiter. You know what I mean?
We're on
Some
the-
shit like that.
We're in the Mars for the winter.
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's where like true genius resides.
Mhm.
That's something that we would like. That's something I would personally want to fund and be involved in.
Yeah, that stuff would be neat.
Yeah, for sure. Just like Trump said, we could have space wars, dude.
Exactly.
They'll probably be dead long before that, though. I don't know. You think there's a lot of shit that we're like actually so technically advanced in that the government's just like hiding from us?
Mhm.
Like I know the government's obviously like they have to hide shit from
Definitely.
us, but
Cancer cure and shit.
yeah, I think cancer is too profitable
Exactly.
for them to make up a cure for that. But there have been like some breakthroughs in like college studies.
Mhm.
Then they've like talked about how some of these cures can just target only cancer cells,
Yeah.
which I think's fucking amazing. I don't know how you do that, but it's just I don't know.
That's why they go to college.
Exactly.
They'll figure it out.
That's you go to college for that. That's like
Mhm.
that's real shit. You know what I mean?
Got a full
It's like,
circle.
Hey, I'm going to college to be a fucking lawyer. It's like
Yeah.
no, dude. These guys are inventing
Yeah,
shit to
I'm
save
curing
us.
Cancer.
Yeah.
dude.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm learning how to chop onions.
Yeah, right? Like, oh, hey, I got my degree. I can chop onions with a degree now.
Yeah.
No, I'm curing cancer.
Yeah,
dude.
I literally just fucking solved global warming. That would be the move, dude.
Yeah.
Tommy, talk to us on that time, bro.
On the time,
Yup.
you're an hour and 4.
Hour and 4.
Awesome. Should we wrap it up?
I think that's it.
Alright, guys. So this has been the first ever Long Island Lads
Yeah.
podcast.
Hope you enjoyed.
Yup.
Hope you had a blast.
And this is gonna be one of the few, for sure.
Yeah. definitely. Hopefully this is the first of many.
For sure.
It's definitely not going to be so much about us going forward, like as it was today.
Yeah. This was kind of just an introduction as to who we are as your hosts.
Yeah. I speak my mind for the most part. And that's it about me. I'm fun. I'm a fun guy.
Sound like you're on a dating website. I'm a fun guy, good with kids.
I'm a fun guy. Check me out, man.
Check out my mixtape.
Yeah. I'm sure once you got the camera rolling, you see how stupid I look.
I mean, they're gonna see shit probably.
They're gonna see
like
stuff.
clip out the highlights and shit.
But going forward, you guys.
Yeah, constant retardation.
Exactly. Constant
for sure.
Stupidity.
That's the move.
That's what it's gonna be like. All right.
This is Joey. Hold up, just a warning before I'll put this in in the beginning of the video. This isn't a PC podcast, all right?
Yeah.
We'll say shit that's anti-PC.
Exactly.
And if you want to go to the comments and say some shit, don't even bother. I got no tolerance for that. I say whatever the fuck's on my mind.
Exactly.
And that's on job.
But you know what? So many successful people say that the haters made them who they are. So
yeah,
we'll feed
that's
off.
fair.
We'll feed off your energy. Actually, comment everything.
Yeah,
we'll
just want to
feed
hear
off
your feedback. To be honest,
not that I give a crap about it.
Yeah,
no,
no.
I'm kidding. I care about everyone's opinion.
No, for sure. We want to hear input. But if it's going to be negative, I'm going to fucking call you out on the chat.
Exactly. I'm not, I'm about it, bro. I'm
Facts.
about it.
By the way, next podcast, whoever subscribes during this podcast, we're willingly going to talk about your guys' names and how you subscribed and how we thank you. And I thank each and every one of our subscribers ever.
Whoever subscribes is getting a shout out.
Shout out to all of them. And it's going to be a personal. Exactly. It can be shout out to... No, it's going to be dude... X Gamer fucking Rape Man 99. You're the man, dude.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Dude.
We went onto your channel, some killer videos,
exactly.
bro. Sub for sub.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Exactly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instant sub right there.
That's what I'm saying.
And then when you get the shout out video, I want you to clip out the part where we shout you out. I want you to treasure that video
facts.
forever.
You got to keep that shit.
Not that I have that high of expectations for this podcast, but
hey, you could say some fucking stupid retards called you out on a YouTube video.
Exactly.
And that's what it's all about.
Yep.
Alright. I think that's going to be it for the podcast.
That's going to be it.
Thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. And be good.
Please come back.
We need you.